सब्सक्राइब कीजिए हमारे चैनल डिफेसिस को और दबाइए बेल बटन को ताकि आपको मिल सके हमारी वीडियोस की अपडेट सबसे पहले।
The Hizbul Mujahideen issued a threat to politicians and leaders in the valley a week before the one-year anniversary of the abrogation of Article 370 of the Indian Constitution. Forces have thwarted all attempts by Pakistan-sponsored terrorists to destabilize peace and harmony in Jammu and Kashmir, but terror elements continue to sprout from the alleys of the valley time and again, and try to intimidate locals and political leaders through their nefarious methods. The Hizbul Mujahideen has now issued a threat to politicians and leaders in the valley a week before the one-year anniversary of the abrogation of Article 370 of the Indian Constitution, paving the bifurcation of the state into two union territories, Jammu and Kashmir, and Ladakh. Politicians who supported the centre and brought this draconian law to Kashmir are left red-faced as they were kept under detention. India should not think Mujahideen is over, the terror outfit said via a video message. Last week, security forces in the valley, including the Jammu and Kashmir Police, the Indian Army and the CRPF, arrested 3 terror associates from Pakhurpura area of central Kashmir's Bujam district. Amid the standoff with China in Ladakh, the Indian Navy has deployed a large number of ships under the Eastern and Western Naval Commands in the Indian Ocean region to send out a clear message to China, the print has learned. Sources in the defense and security establishment said that the message has been registered by China. They added that the 3 service chiefs have been meeting regularly since the border tensions in Ladakh started simmering from early May, and all military strategies are being planned jointly. As reported by the print, the development comes as the Indian military is preparing to respond to Chinese aggression in a joint manner, keeping in mind the possible collusion of China and Pakistan. India has reacted in all domains to counter China and to tell her that what she has done is unacceptable. This involves the Army, Navy, Air Force, diplomacy and even economics, a top government official said. The official added that the ships have been deployed to send out a message. Asked if this message has been received by China, the official said, "Yes. China has picked up the message. It has registered." The official, however, refused to get into the details of what the message was and how he was sure that the message was received. With the Chinese People's Liberation Army, PLA, concentrated and on the offensive on a barren Tibetan plateau, the Indian Air Force with Rafale fighter as its spearhead weapon will decide the outcome of the battle in case the red flag goes up, says former Air Chief Marshal B.S. Denoa. 5 Rafale fighters will land at Ambala Air Base today from France for induction into IAF today. Talking to Hindustan Times, Denoa, the chief architect of February 26, 2019 airstrikes on Balakot, said that Rafale, with its top-of-the-line electronic warfare suite, Meteor beyond visual range missile and Scalp air-to-ground weapon with its terrain-following capability, outguns any threat that the Chinese Air Force produces. Painting a wartime scenario, former Top Gun said, if the IAF is successful in destruction of enemy air defenses and suppression of enemy air defenses, then the Chinese fighters out in the open at Hatan Air Base and at Gangar Air Base at Lhasa Airport are fair targets. Some 70 Chinese aircraft are without protection at Hatan, and some 26 aircraft may be parked inside a tunnel which the PLA were building at Lhasa Air Base, the former air chief said. While Air Chief Marshal Denoa recognizes the threat presented by Chinese J-25th generation fighter, he is very confident that the IAF with its latest Rafale and Su-30 Mki will be able to counter the best the Chinese throw at India in the worst-case scenario. Chinese air threat is mainly from their surface-to-air missile systems.
Leaders in India's technology industry are urging the country to go even further to protect the interests of local companies against foreign rivals, or risk ceding the world's fastest-growing internet arena to Chinese and American monopolies. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's administration this month banned 59 Chinese apps in the country, including ByteDance Limited short video hit TikTok, a dramatic policy shift aimed at improving local control and data security. In separate interviews, Policy Bazaar co-founder Yashish Dahiya, whose company is backed by Tencent Holdings Limited, and MobiKwik frontman Bipin Preet Singh urged Prime Minister Modi to go further. Emboldened by growing hostility against its giant neighbor, they want regulators to curb their access to Indian markets, establish rules to wrest back control of user data and bankroll local startups. China has long been the bratty kid who thinks it's okay to grab others' cake without sharing your own, Dahiya told Bloomberg News last week. India must strategically reduce market access before its neighbor becomes even more powerful. If India doesn't do it now, it can never be done, said DAIA, whose online insurance service targets a 2021 IPO at a $3.5 billion value. DAIA and Singh are breaking with tradition in an Indian startup sector that over the past half-decade has attracted billions from Chinese companies and investment houses from Alibaba Group Holding Limited to Hillhouse Capital. Their stance reflects a shift in sentiment after a mid-June Himalayan border clash left 20 soldiers dead, but also a wave of techno-nationalism as the coronavirus pummels global economies. It coincides with a surge of interest from American giants like Facebook Incorporated and Google as India's nascent digital economy blossoms. The commissioning of India's second aircraft carrier has been delayed till September next year because of the COVID-19 pandemic. While reconciling to this setback, the Navy remains all the more keen to push its case for a third aircraft carrier as well as 2 new fighter squadrons to counter China's expanding footprint in the Indian Ocean region, IOR. As the U.S. recently displayed in the South China Sea, much to China's discomfort, nothing projects raw combat power like an aircraft carrier strike group, CSG, capable of moving over 500 nautical miles, 900 kilometers, in a single day. But India, which has currently deployed the bulk of its warships and submarines in the year to send a clear signal to Beijing, is in danger of losing its decisive edge over China in the CSG arena. Sources say the basin trials of the first indigenous aircraft carrier, IAC-1, being built at the Cochin shipyard, which would have checked the 40,000-ton warship's propulsion, transmission and shafting systems, have been derailed by the pandemic. The basin trials of IAC-1, first sanctioned by the government way back in January 2003, are to be followed by extensive sea trials. It's only after IAC-1 gets commissioned in September 2021 now, and is christened INS Vikrant, that the flight trials will be launched to make the carrier fully operational by 2022 to 2023. The continuing delay in IAC-1, being constructed for 22,590 crore, comes when China already has 2 aircraft carriers, while 2 more are being frenetically constructed. With the eventual aim to have a 10-carrier navy by 2050, China is expected to begin deploying a CSG in the year within the next few years to take care of its Malacca dilemma.